And now, you're tuned in to RBLR, the home of Tampa Bay's Reveler Sports.
Welcome into our Bucs here on RBLR Sports. Usab here with you. And now that we're seeing some action, as always, I'm fired up to have you here as well. Another game down in the books, but a lot else to go down as well, I'll tell you that. Joining me tonight for another episode is Tampa's iconic duo. Ladies and gentlemen, the whole gang is here, staying cool, staying fly. On my right, we got Santiago in the building. What's good, man?
What's up, Musab? What's up, RBLR Nation? How we doing? Super excited. Let's man, it's we're getting closer, you know what I'm saying? So I'm super excited to talk some Bucs football. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Go Bucs. Raise them flags.
Love to hear it, Santiago, and busting through the walls in that Escalade from a few episodes ago, as he wanted, of course, pulling up to the scene with that Tampa Bay charisma. Carter, what's up, man?
Oh, how's it going, bro? Tampa Bay charisma. That's that's definitely something right there. But yeah, I'm good, man. Just chilling. Just living lavish per usual. Just very excited and ready to talk some Bucs football for sure.
And I love to hear that as well, Carter. All right, well, hey, friendly reminder, listeners and fans, show us some love real quick and hit that like and subscribe button for us, will you? It would mean a lot. And for our enthusiasts on social media, we're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at RBLR Sports. Gentlemen, let's just get right into it. All right, updates from this past week. The big ones are just the injuries. All right, we got Stinney out for the whole season, Cam Gill on IR right now as well. What's going on in your head right now? Just because just getting uglier. Guys, I asked you this before. I said, is the injury monster here? I feel like I never really kind of solidified or never got a solidified answer, but I think so. But Carter, Santiago, how we feeling?
Yeah, the injury monster is unfortunately rearing its ugly head, as I think will continue to do so as the preseason continues on, in practice or in the final game. Injuries are part of the NFL. It's tough to lose Stinney for the whole year. But luckily they're at, second-round pick LG stepping into the left guard position. So I'm excited to see how he steps up and fills those shoes. How about you, Santiago? How are you feeling about the injury monster?
Yeah, man. I agree with both you gentlemen. Injury monster is definitely no fun. As a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, we want to see all of our players out there, battling it out every play during the season. And poor Aaron Stinney, he got a MCL, ACL tear. Cam Gill's on the IR. So, but yeah, man, Gadecki, we drafted him for a reason, man. And I know he's going to hard, and can't wait to see what else he can do, going into the regular season. You know what I mean? Super excited to see him, the potential that he can give to us.
Of course. But, on top of that, actually 2 hours ago, I just popped up on Bucs Wire. Actually, the Bucs start to sign outside linebacker Jannard Avery. So I guess, that's that, Cam Gill move right there. And we got Carl Nassib, of course. But guys, how do we genuinely feel about this whole situation on relying on, people like Leverett and Gadecki to, have to contribute immediately? Just because, I don't know. Even look, we even toss in Ryan, Robert Hainsey. Okay. I guess a lot of these young Bucks are coming up to the plate / people we didn't think so. And genuinely, how do we really feel about this? What I've been kind of seeing online is, as of right now, the organization is satisfied, or they're saying, okay, you know what? It's time for these depth pieces just to pick on up now. All right. But for you, are you looking for someone to actually to get someone from another team to actually step up to the plate? Or you're just saying, listen, whatever we have is fine, but maybe we do still need some extra depth pieces. Where's your head at with that?
Honestly, it's a great question. We'll definitely see how it plays out. I feel like if the Bucs were feeling like they needed more depth or they needed to add someone, they would have done so by now. Just because the last preseason game is coming up. It's been a couple weeks. I think they're going to roll out with Robert Hainsey, and I think a lot of that might have to do with the fact that who knows what Gronk's going to do. I know it's kind of a conspiracy, but maybe they're keeping some salary cap space open just on the off chance that he decides to come back. like I said, that might just be wishful thinking on my part, but yeah, who knows what's going to happen. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really think they're going to bring anybody in or trade for
You
anybody.
think Carter? You think he's gonna see that little like TB12 thing in the air like Batman does, that little Batman sign, and that's when
Yeah,
he's gonna be
man.
like, you know what? It's time. It's time to come on back.
Yeah.
Tom never hits that, but when he does, he's in a real emergency. He's calling my
Right.
name. Maybe that's the case. But Santiago, what are your thoughts on this? Because guys, I am actually genuinely scared. I'm gonna be honest with you right now. It's looking real interesting. But Carter, maybe you are right. Maybe it is. You know, listen, it's still preseason. Let's see what we have, and then from there we can do. You know, we can make some moves if need be or whatever. I don't know. We'll make something happen. But Santiago, thoughts?
Yeah, I agree exactly with what Carter just said. If they would have, we're looking to see what we have, right? I mean, if there is a better option out there, then we have to see how much. We'll look into like signing that other option for sure. Would definitely love to see Gronkowski back for sure. He loves this area. He loves the weather. He loves everything about Tampa. I saw that video just recently, about a few days ago, about Dana White, UFC president, talking about how he and the Raiders almost signed Tom Brady and Gronk was actually live on the ESPN set. And he's like, the reason why they didn't do anything, Gruden decided not to sign him. So, and then Gronk said, you know what? I'm glad I didn't go, but I love Tampa. So, he definitely loves our area. So I would love to see him, wear the pewter the pewter and, our colors again, for sure. Raise that flag, because he's such a legendary tight end. And I can go on and talk about him. But yeah, man, hopefully that'll be pretty nice to have that. The Gronk, I don't know, the RB up in the sky, like we need your Gronk. So, but we'll see what happens with that. What else you think? What else you think about that, Musab?
I mean, I guess we'll just have to see how it plays out. At this point, maybe I'm just being a little too pessimistic, but perhaps, I need to have that kind of half glass full mentality and, just hope for the best in this upcoming preseason game. But on top of that, I mean, guys, the cut down to 80 men has arrived. Nothing really big. I just feel like the last one was just like Bug Howard. I only, raised my eyebrow at that just because I was okay, one of the tight ends we was looking at when it comes to depth. But guys, I mean, there's gonna be a big fat coming down soon. From 80 is gonna be to 53. And there are definitely some potential candidates. I don't know, maybe so, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see where y'all's heads at. But let's just recap this game against the Tennessee Titans because this one was real interesting and just with everything going down. It wasn't a nail biter. It was just more like, oh, come on, let's just make something happen, please. Maybe y'all were thinking something different, but I was like, this is looking a little rough. So that's my little overall, little summary. But where's y'all's heads at with that? How do we feel? Just because this was our second preseason game.
Yeah, I mean, it was an NFL preseason game. You can't really look too much into it as far as team success. Yeah, I mean, it was just a pretty blah game. I think you described it very well. It was very much just kind of like, ugh. Yeah, when you only score 3 points, it's kind of tough. But some good was Ryan Suckup. The one field goal that was made, it was a 50-plus yarder. So, he's doing his best to try to hold off Santiago's favorite player in the history of the Bucs, Jose Borregales. I mean, it's so, it was good to see that. But yeah, other than that, not a lot to really glean into this. No one really stepped up. Although it was good to see Keyshawn Vaughn. He had a nice little game. 54 yards rushing is not anything to scoff at. But how about you, Santiago? What were your overall thoughts on the game?
That's hilarious. But no, yeah, I mean, it was really tough to see, just to score, it was, 3 points only on the scoreboard and couldn't get anything going to, we were kind of close and, to score, a touchdown or a few. But, other than that, it's like Carter. I agree with what Carter just said. It's just a preseason game. It was nice to see like Leonard Fournette out there, and to some of our starters to be out there, and Joe Tryon. Also, to see some of our starters play. But other than that, let's move on to the next game. So pretty much, let's bring on the next opponent, which would be the Indianapolis Colts. So, I can't wait for week 1 to be here.
Right on. Guys, I mean, for me, I feel like some things I'm rather curious to hear about is, okay, well, obviously no Brady, of course. We got Trask and Gabbard in the house. How do we feel about that? Just because what's their excuse? There's still something I was looking for. And even on top of that, as guys we were mentioning last week, people like Scotty Miller and just overall, guys, what we're kind of the vibe I'm getting, and that's the vibe I'm feeling as well is, yeah, we saw, I guess, what was needed to be seen. People like, yeah, Keyshawn Vaughn, Leonard Fournette, Ryan Suckup, they look good as they should. But minus the as they should, guys, I mean, did anything else stand out to you? Was there anything good that you all saw or no? Just because the quarterback situation that I'm really looking at is just, or at the moment, or at that time was, I don't know exactly what's going on with Brady, but this is what we have right now. And these are preseason players, and I don't know. It was looking kind of rather odd and ugly. A little interesting to see, even those like, that little Rashad White fumble and all that. I don't know. I just got the vibe that we were looking just a little defeated or something. And it only raised my eyebrows because, yes, I know the starters ain't in right now, but this is football. The injury monster is already here, guys. So I only want to see, what is the big good things that y'all saw, if y'all saw anything. And then what about those bad things that you're rather disappointing? Just because the only thing I can really say was just that, yeah, it was just an overall tough match. Those who needed to stand out did, but that's about it.
Yeah, I will say the Titans are very well coached. Mike Vrabel is an excellent coach. So even their backups are going to be, executing their game plan very well. So yeah, I mean, the Titans have an excellent defense, so that might have had a little bit to do with the offensive struggles of the Bucs. And this is only Trask's second game, so you don't want to judge him too harshly. But it's certainly the vibe that I got from this game really overall was there wasn't really anyone winning any jobs or winning any spots, but there were plenty of guys losing some spots. Yeah, like you mentioned, Scotty Miller. I mean, that was just kind of another dud of a performance from a guy that kind of needs to step it up a little bit because his roster spot is anything but guaranteed. But yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's tough to go up against a well-coached and well-disciplined team like the Titans. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was only Trask's second preseason game. People are going to go crazy because he was, below 50%. But you can't really give up on him too quickly, especially since he's playing with a lot of other backups. But there are nobody is what's the word I'm looking for? Everyone's going to overreact to things like these, especially when
He needs a little bit of time, I guess,
Yeah,
huh? Because for me, I see where your head's at, Carter, but there are a lot of people who are saying, what was this big excuse? It's still time to execute to the best of your ability, and clearly it didn't look good at all. And some people don't like the fact that we got this guy in the second round. They're like, to hell with Trask, So, Carter, I guess you're saying no, we still need more time. But Santiago, what about you?
Honestly, what I think is that he should pick the game. He has to pick up the game quicker. There were a few plays, on our end of the field that he was literally like he could. Yes, he was being, surrounded, but he really wasn't moving around to open up to get a play, executed. I saw that, in a couple times, and he has to wake up because he's in the NFL right now. This is not college, so yes, it's his second game, but we have somebody by the name of the GOAT that from day one when he came into the league, he was was he behind Drew Bledsoe? Yeah. Drew Bledsoe was injured? Okay. I don't want Brady to get injured. Of course. No. But, he picked it up really quickly, and look what he is now. I'm not comparing Trask to Brady. No. But I want Trask because Brady's not going to be with us. But if Trask is, I don't want to go back to a losing season. I want to keep winning. And if it's winning the division, if it's going to, winning, going to like the playoffs and competing, that's what I want. So, but it's the truth. So, and what other opinion do you have, Musab or Carter?
I mean, has there anything? I mean, just overall on your thoughts, then, just based on everything y'all been saying, has anything been solidified in your head that you're saying, okay? I mean, it's been 2 games. I mean, we're not looking at the starters, but it's been 2 games. Clearly, this guy or these guys ain't really doing much. This is their final chance.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I think all this quarterback talk, I hate to go back to it, but I think these first 2 games have kind of pushed Blaine Gabbert back into that second string role and really solidified the fact that if, knock on wood, hopefully it doesn't happen, but if Brady were to go down, then Gabbert would be the first man up. I don't think Trask is ready. I don't think the coaching staff thinks he's ready. So I think that's kind of what been solidified these first 2 games. Yeah, I mean, defensively they've been playing pretty well. They played really well in this game right here. They were facing a pretty talented young quarterback. I'm really high on Malik Willis, and he was able. They were able to limit him. 7-17 is not great. So the defense has been playing okay. They got a takeaway as well. So yeah, I mean, offensively, it's definitely Trask being not the guy as the backup right now. He's certainly not ready. But how about you, Santiago? Are there any kind of solidified things that have happened that have kind of made you go, ooh, that's clicking in? But yeah, how do you feel about
it? To be honest with you, gentlemen, I honestly believe that, Kyle Trask is our third string right now, and Blaine Gabbert is second. Definitely we don't want to see our prized possession ever, go down with the injury bug. But, what if anything would happen, for example, right? I mean, do you think we can still win the division? Obviously we want Brady to take us to the promised land. So, I mean, what do you think? What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, if Tom Brady goes down, I'm afraid the Bucs aren't sniffing 500, much less winning the division. Yeah, Blaine Gabbert's not the guy. Kyle Trask isn't the guy. I would love to see it. I would love to see one of those guys turn into, like a Ryan Fitzpatrick kind of thing and emerge. But yeah, if Brady goes down, the Bucs aren't going anywhere. But maybe Musab, maybe you're more optimistic. I don't know. How are you feeling about it?
No, I'm not as optimistic as you. I mean, we got to be real right now, gentlemen. It would be a very interesting season without Tom Brady. I'll tell you that. But for me, what the only thing that's been solidified is, listen, I mean, whatever you want to say about the returners or whatever, that's another thing. But this is, for me, the preseason. This is time to really, get that microscope on these rookies. But on top of that, some other things kind of stood out. For me, your little Kyle Trask, Blaine Gabbert comparison for me is how I actually feel about Rashad White and Keith Vaughn. Okay, just because this is a time for Rashad White. You know what? Maybe this is the last battle, the final. It's 1-1 or whatever. But I'm still leaning towards Keyshawn Vaughn, just because again, it's preseason. Okay, sure, Keyshawn Vaughn got a lot more, or not a lot more, but you got a few more carries than Rashad White. But I don't know, man. I still need to see more. And then on top of that, with the receiving unit, nothing's been solidified on that end, just because that was real interesting against the Titans. I'll tell you that. The only thing I do want to point out that I want to solidify in my head as of right now is that this last preseason game is very important. I'll tell you that, just because with the wide receiver core and minus the starters and, even these guys on defense, there's all kind of cool things, these things popping up. The only thing that really raised my eyebrows in regards to the Tampa Bay defense was the gentleman by the name of Olakunle Fatukasi, just because, Boss Man racked up a sack and a half, had total of 10 sacks. I mean, he was out there putting in work and all that. Yes, I guess it's preseason, but the only thing that I'm thinking in my head is that this is it. Honestly, I think a lot of these guys are fighting for these spots now, especially going from 80 to 53. It's going to be real interesting. So that's all I kind of really have to say in regards to that, just because I don't know. Guys, it's been a real interesting preseason. I don't know how y'all feel, but just with everything going on, This is what I'm saying. This is the art of football. And look, I told you I was like, last preseason game, you know what that means. I'm thinking in my head, okay, well, it's time to really kick in. It's time to see where these depth pieces are fitting in. But on top of that, I was also thinking, oh, snap, regular season is about to kick in, gentlemen. You know what else is kicking in? It's time to hop on all them Tampa Bay sports because they're all coming back. The time is now, and the time is now to snag some breathtaking, awesome, cool, sick designs from shop.rblrsports.com, repping your favorite football team, the baseball team, the hockey team, and don't forget the soccer team, of course. Santiago, oh my God, I am blanking out right now, but I know you got it in your heart. I know you got it in your brain. Bless the listeners with that promo code, will you?
Yeah, Musab, the promo code is Cannons. Cannons, Cannons. I'll say that a little bit slower. Cannons on your complete order, and it's in the description below. So, once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you can go to shop.rblrsports.com and get something for your girl, get something for your family. You can get something for your best friend, everything. And
And don't,
you can get
of
something
course, get something for yourself as well.
Exactly. You're right, Musab. I totally agree. And also you can get it for, any time of the season, birthday, Christmas, that special occasion, you know. But yeah, I'm getting something from there.
Oh,
What
hell
about
yeah.
you?
Yeah,
We're all
you got
rocking
this,
it. We're all rocking
Santiago.
it.
You got this, Santiago. You can't be talking RBLR without repping RBLR. I'll tell you that. All right. Speaking of that, guys, another opportunity, another weekend to represent the Buccaneers, and that is because we are going against the Indianapolis Colts. What are your overall thoughts on this? Minus the fact that, it's our last preseason game. As I said, the thing that has been solidified is that nothing's been solidified on the defense and the wide receiver core. But where's y'all's heads at with this, Carter and Santiago?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's really just a kind of a last opportunity for a lot of guys to win some spots, or in some unfortunate cases, lose some spots. I think there are a lot of guys that are going to be, on the chopping block, unfortunately, and they might feel the pressure a little bit. They might struggle a little bit. They might see some nerves, some anxiety because they can feel the pressure. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how they play against the Colts. The Colts head coach, Frank Reich, has mentioned that he's going to, play his starters. He's going to play his starters for up to a half, and it's kind of intense. It's a good litmus test for a lot of these young guys. So we're definitely going to have to see how that goes. I mean, the Colts are another. They're kind of similar to the Titans. They're very well coached, very well disciplined. They're not. They're not super young, but they're not also super old. They're kind of in that happy medium, and they're playing in a weak division, so they're contending as well. So the Bucs are going to be, they're going to have their hands full in a preseason game because they're trying to work their way in so that they can, hit the ground running once the season starts. How about you, Santiago? How are you feeling about this matchup with the Colts for our final preseason game?
Yeah, I mean, Carter just said, the Colts are going to play their starters for about a half. I would like to, play a few starters. I don't want no more injuries, but, we want to make sure that going into week one, our first game of the season, people are fresh. I remember Todd Bowles saying, they had, for example, this past game, Leonard Fournette, as a running back, you have to get hit. So pretty much, that's part of their job. And, like other positions, offensive line, defense line, like you have to grab a jersey. You have to, try and wrestle with your opponent. And, so maybe, I would like to see, our starters, at least for a half, perform out there. And, obviously nobody get injured because I want to play for a championship. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be pretty interesting if we can see Brady out there possibly, Matt Ryan, he's in his new home after after playing almost his whole, practically his whole career in one organization. But, the Bucs are gonna, they're gonna see kind of a familiar face, just in a different uniform. Um, but yeah, man.
I mean,
After
I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, listen. You said Frank Reich was going to be starting these starters at least for half the game or whatever. Do you think it's necessary that we need to do that? Because I know you just said that right now, Thiago. Is that really needed? Because I mean, where my head's at is, I want to see as much as I can, especially these rookies and these backups. For me, it's supposed to be a dogfight. By all means, I'd love to see our starters get a little rep in or two, just to show the league or does anyone that they still got it or whatever. They're ready. But for me, it's is that necessary?
Yeah, in my humble opinion, what the hell do I know? But I don't really think the starters need to play all that much. Maybe a quarter at most, maybe a couple drives. Just because this is a veteran team. The Bucs have been together for a very long time now, going on year 3 of the Brady era, and a lot of these guys have been playing together for even longer than that, from the Winston era. So it's just I think it's more just about making sure everybody's healthy, especially with we've been talking about a lot, the injury monster rearing its ugly head. So just want to steer clear of those terrible last week injuries that make you just kind of go, oh, dang it, if only we would have held them out. But yeah, I mean, maybe a series or two, but the Bucs know what they've got. There's a familiarity in the locker room, and when you've got Tom Brady, it doesn't really matter. So, but how about you, Santiago? Do you think I know you mentioned that you want the starters to play a half. Are you sticking to that?
I agree with both you gentlemen. I'm thinking it right now. I really am, because you are right. We are, as a team, we are older, with a lot of our players in age, of course. But I really want to see more of our rookies. Just get out there. See. I saw Cade Otton. Just this past game, like throwing himself out there. Because I want to. And we're talking about Gadecki. Obviously our draft pick from UCLA. And I just want to. I would like to see Kyle. Kyle Trask, to see what else he can do, right? I mean, obviously, we were talking about that earlier. Just to, or Blaine Gabbert. I want to see him, see if he can finish off a game. I would like to see if he can finish off a game, and let's say we can win. Because if we can definitely win with Blaine Gabbert, that is a positive. So, but I just want us to do well. That's pretty much what I want to see. Everybody be good and finish the game, and then after that, boom, let's go into the regular season. With our guns blazing. I mean, that's all. That's what really I want to see. I want to see. I can't wait for that week 1. And that breath of
Oh, I can't
adrenaline.
wait. I can't wait either. Santiago, just real quick, what's your prediction? You think we're both 0-2 right now? You think think we're gonna snag the win? Yes or no?
Yes, I believe we're gonna go our preseason record will be 2 losses, 1 win. What is my?
Okay.
I'm gonna.
All
I
right. All
want
right.
to. I'll give my. I'll give my score. I'll give my score.
Ooh,
Um,
okay. All right.
I want to say, like, let's go. Hmm. Let's go 17-10.
Okay. All right. All right. Carter, real quick. What about you, man? You think? I mean, look, 0-2 again. I don't know. Maybe the team chemistry is there or whatever. You think we win? Yes or no? And then go ahead and drop your score prediction if you got one.
Yeah, sure. I think it's a crapshoot with these preseason games, but the Colts are probably going to win just because they're playing their starters a whole half. And I'll go 13-6 Colts. How about you, Musab? You got a bold prediction?
No, I think it's I'll just say 50-50. My goal is to make sure that these backups, listen, all right, if they're gonna toss in their starters for a half, then let's see how these backups do against their starters or whatever. So I think it's gonna be a dogfight. I'm staying optimistic. I think it's gonna be a little bit more high scoring. I think it's 50-50. So I'll say fine, yeah, I think there's a chance, but score prediction, I don't know. I think it's just gonna be over 20 for both of them. It's gonna be something kind of similar to their Lions game last time. I don't know. Nothing really looks impressive on their end. And so far, unfortunately, we've had our ups and downs. So it's going to be real interesting. But on top of that, guys, who is on the chopping block? Who is that one or two guy where you're thinking, okay, listen, as I said before, it's going to be a big fat cut. We're going 80 to 53. Surely, I mean, we could just name like, I don't know, like a bunch of guys, but, who are like a few guys that you have, or maybe one or two guys you're just thinking from the top of your head, like, come on, man, this is it. This is your shot, final preseason game.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely some name brand guys. Well, name brand might be putting it a little bit too over exaggerating a little bit, but there are some guys that might be like, oh man, he got cut. And I think the biggest one, I mean, we've mentioned him a few times now, Scotty Miller. He might be a big surprise to some Bucs fans just because people always think of that NFC Championship game catch. But he's, like we've mentioned before, he's kind of like the Brett Phillips of the Bucs. Brett Phillips recently got DFA'd by the Rays. I think Scotty Miller might unfortunately suffer the same fate. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. We're definitely going to be, it's Jalen Darden's another name, mostly the receiving group, just some guys that have played some meaningful games. Cyril Grayson last year, he had a really great game against the Jets, and I think he might be on his way out. I don't know. It's definitely going to be tough to see these guys get cut because, they could go somewhere else and have a lot of success. So, I don't know. We'll see. How about you, Santiago? Who's the most surprising guy you think is going to get cut, or who you think's on the chopping block?
No, Carter, I have to agree with you. You know what I mean? Scotty Miller, to be honest. He had that one catch, but man, that one catch, that was a bullet of a throw from Brady. You know what I mean? And I could think about that catch all the time. That's how legendary that catch is for us to go to the Super Bowl. I agree with you with that. We have such a competitive, receiver core that, our starters are going to stay there. It's the bottom part of that group that Cyril Grayson, Jalen Darden, that's pretty much, man, that's pretty much what I can think about.
That's what I'm also thinking about. I'll tell you that, gentlemen. Just because, I mean, I said it before. I mean, I feel, nothing's going to be surprising minus the wide receiver cuts is really the one that I'm really looking at. Just, I mean, as guys, y'all were mentioning both Santiago and Carter, Grayson, Miller, Darden. These kind of guys, they're right there. Those rookies right behind them are just their time to show them that no, we're ahead of you now. Your time's up or whatever. But that's what I'm kind of looking at. These second-ish, third, fourth stringers now. This is going to be a dogfight. This is time to show out. Whatever opportunity you get, it's time to make the best of it. So that's kind of just about it for me. I mean, that's what I'm going to be looking at minus the rookies, just to show out, okay, who really wants a spot on this roster. But anything else that y'all want to add on about this game, or what you're looking forward to?
Nah, I mean, I think we've pretty much covered it. Definitely just looking for some guys to step up and earn some spots. Hopefully not see too many guys lose those spots. And like Santiago mentioned earlier, definitely see how Kyle Trask bounces back from kind of a subpar game against the Titans. But how about you, Santiago? You got any final thoughts?
Honestly, no, gentlemen. I covered a lot with this, and I want to see a Bucs win. That's gonna make that would definitely make my weekend right now, because obviously I love the Rowdies and stuff like that. I know they're playing as well, but definitely, man, I want to see the Bucs win. I want to see that W, because then that W is going to go into the first week of the season, and it's just going to be, get everybody pumped up and everything. So, yeah, man, can't wait. Can't wait for this game, and can't wait for week 1 to start.
Yeah, I think. Oh, yeah, absolutely, Santiago. I love the fact that you said that little last statement right there. I think a little win would be nice to to start this regular season. But on top of that, listeners, I want to be real nice to y'all, and I want to say a big thank y'all. All right, seriously, if you enjoyed our episode, please make sure to spread the word about us. All right, RBLR Bucs. All right, and I'll give you a few seconds right now before you forget, and smash that like button, the subscribe button, however you're listening to this. Reminder as well, whenever you're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, feel free to check out RBLR Sports. All right, that is at RBLR Sports. Gentlemen, last preseason game. Time to see where our Bucs are at with these depth pieces. All right, that, of course, preseason, duh. But another opportunity for y'all to tune in this Saturday, August 27th, ladies and gentlemen. Surely it's tough to see what's going on. You know, it's been a roller coaster of a preseason, of course, but tough times don't last. Tough people do. You got that? So, that being said, that's all for now, folks. Thanks again. And as always, go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
Thank you for tuning into this presentation by RBLR Sports. On your way out of the stadium, please remember to like and subscribe.